The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was one of the most talked-about occasions in the history of women's basketball. Fans throughout the country expected amazing plays and exhilarating performances, but few predicted what would take place during the All-Star Draft. Caitlin Clark, one of the league's most prominent emerging talents, assumed leadership in a way never observed by a novice, adding to the traditional format of the event and garnering media attention before the commencement of the game. She was accompanied on the national stage by notable individuals such as Sophie Cunningham and the well-known Cheryl Miller. They all contributed in different ways to what turned out to be an unforgettable athletic event. Caitlin Clark joined the WNBA. Having made waves since her record-breaking college days at Iowa, she has very high expectations. She quickly gained the respect of both peers thanks to her long-range shooting, court vision, and courageous attitude. And admirers. She was so popular that she was selected as captain of one of the two All-Star teams. Outnumbered every other player in the poll for All-Star hand. That was impressive in and of itself, especially considering that she was a beginner. But Clark didn't stop there. Her following acts rocked the league. July 8th. Caitlin Clark did something that had never been done before during the live, televised All-Star Draft in 2025. She casually turned to face the head coaches designated to each team at the conclusion of the draft. The other team's captain, Sophie Collier, and proposed a coach swap, something that had never happened before in the history of the league.
He's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry.
Cheryl Reeve planned to trade Clark for Sandy Brondello when she was initially assigned to the Minnesota Lynx. Collier's team had been allocated to the New York Liberty head coach. Sophie Collier and Clark both laughed, and the league officials allowed the change to stay in effect. This unforeseen event swiftly made news. It wasn't everything, but the exchange had never been done before. It was the guarantee that Clark took control of the situation. In particular, she stated, "I'm not sure if this is permitted. I said, I don't really care," prior to proposing the transaction. Even during prominent events like the All-Star Game, her boldness conveyed a message about how the game is played and how players are now speaking up. Many admirers praised her for her efforts and for bringing life to the event. Some saw it as a direct response to prior disputes between Clark and Coach Reeve, including criticism that had emerged earlier in the season while the Olympic team is being negotiated. A renowned WNBA coach with years of experience and a strong coaching. Interestingly, Coach Cheryl Reeve was recently involved in a controversy with Caitlin Clark's exclusion from the Olympics. Clark's absence from the Squad USA women's basketball squad was mostly due to Reeve, the national team's coach. Team for the Summer Olympics in Paris in 2024, the rookie's choice to exclude her from the All-Star Game. Fans and commentators speculate that it might have been driven by resentment between Clark and Reeve. Whether or not it was Clark's true intention, many perceive the move as a quiet but powerful statement. Sophie Collier, who eventually got Coach Reeve on her side, handled the swap with grace. She made light of the fact that Reeve already knew every member of Collier's Minnesota Lynx squad, which could be helpful to them, so Clark may be making a mistake with this move. The tone was still lighthearted, but it was clear that this was a deliberate and serious action. Clark wanted a coach that would put her at ease and be more understanding of the way she plays. She chose Sandy Brondello, a coach known for her adaptable techniques and strong relationships with her athletes. Many believe she would grant Clark the freedom she needed to reach her full potential during the game of displayed. As the rumors about the coach trade spread on social media and in sports media, another WNBA player, Sophie Cunningham, entered the discussion. Cunningham, who has long been a voice in the league for pushing boundaries and is well known for her fierce zeal and outspoken temperament, protecting the rights of players. She praised Clark's confidence and didn't hesitate to show her support and the ability to act decisively. Having seen her fair share of hardships in the league, Cunningham recognized the significance of a young athlete like Clark assuming a leadership role so early in her career. Additionally, Cunningham utilized a chance to highlight the league's modifications and the past. Players would often follow the league's rules without question. Now, the new generation of athletes is showing that they are not afraid to voice their opinions and take the initiative when they think something needs to change, with famous people like Clark serving as role models. Cunningham emphasized that this is advantageous for both the leagues and women's sports in general. Growth. When kids see athletes being authentic, taking chances, and managing their careers, fans are more moved. Cheryl Miller, a legendary basketball player, caused a stir with her thoughts and reaction to the incident. Even as Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark earned headlines for their bold actions and views. Cheryl Miller, a seasoned analyst and one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, has long been an ardent advocate for the growth and integrity of the sport. She mentioned the coach switch as one of the most exciting and important occasions in All-Star Game history. It was more than just amusement. In her view, the perception of WNBA players' authority and ability to make decisions has changed. Miller explained that this kind of situation showed the league's development would not have been possible for athletes to choose or switch coaches on national television in the past. The league now encourages uniqueness, player involvement, and fan communication. Miller praised Clark's professionalism and confidence, pointing out that this would likely result in a different environment for future events. She claimed that the WNBA was going to enter a new era where players and fans would have greater power, would have more fun. By the completion of the draft, the All-Star Games matches had been determined. Some of the best young players in the league include Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Aaliyah Boston, and Satu Sabali, assembled Caitlin Clark's team. The group had both astute leadership and explosive offense under the direction of Sandy Brundello. On the other hand, Keir's team, led by Cheryl, Brianna Stewart, Paige Bookers, Nika Aguamike, and Alicia Gray, made up another strong team that Reeve assembled. The All-Star Game on July 19th was anticipated to be a dramatic spectacle in addition to being competitive. Adrenaline and excitement. What made the plot so engrossing was its ability to mix humor with rivalry. Clark introduced the unscripted drama that is typical of men's leagues, especially the NBA. When LeBron James speaks up or changes the team's dynamics, there is a lot of discussion. The world became aware when Caitlin, in the WNBA, Clark began doing something similar. This was a crucial moment for a league that has often fought for equal coverage in the media. Panel discussions, highlight reels, and other content flooded social media, and videos that go viral. There were more people watching than just sports fans. People who had never adhered to the previously, the WNBA suddenly piqued interest. Several analysts also pointed out that this was not a planned media scam. It was genuine, spontaneous, and full of uniqueness. It was the sincerity that attracted so many lovers. Sports media have often criticized the WNBA for being unduly formal, requiring players to follow, obey the rules, keep silent, and focus only on the game. However, Caitlin Clark changed that in a single sentence, and she received praise from the media for it. At this point, one thing was also made extremely clear. Player influence is growing in the WNBA. Athletes had little influence over the big decisions made by league authorities and coaches for a long period. However, the All-Star coach swap suggested a shift. Clark showed that the players are ready to take the lead in making decisions. Process in addition to wishing to take part in it. Other league regions also exhibit this. Within the union of players, athletes who have taken on leadership roles and made contributions include A.A. Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Namu Mickey, to the creation of regulations concerning marketing, pay, and travel arrangements. The upcoming generation of athletes is undoubtedly stronger than before now that Clark has assumed the lead as a rookie and is already having an impact on coaching options. The league's decision to keep it open is also important. Despite defying the accepted framework, the WNBA approved the coach change. Was a powerful silent confirmation. The league stated in this way, "We're listening to the players." A comparable strategy would have led to penalties or negative public opinion. In other leagues, however, it was commemorated with a catchy headline. That illustrates how much the WNBA is growing in terms of skill as well as player and leadership trust. Without a doubt, a larger generational transition in basketball was also symbolized by the coach change. A fresh wave of athletes such as Caitlin Clark serve as examples. Confident, tech-savvy, and unafraid to ask the current state of affairs. The younger generation grew up witnessing NBA players' expressions both on and off the court. They observed how athletes may interact directly with fans via player branding, social media, and public spaces, and the WNBA, they are now doing the same. Conventional structures don't want to keep this new generation in check. They want personalities to emerge, rivalries to grow, and drama to naturally emerge. The All-Star Game coach swap demonstrated such strategy. Fans like it because it was bold, impromptu, and a little disobedient. More experienced athletes like Sue Bird and Tamika Catchings laid the foundation, who were committed and competent. Now, athletes like Caitlin Clark are building something bigger. Building on that foundation will make it more audible and obvious. The modern WNBA is so distinctive because it incorporates aspects, both historical and modern. The league is evolving while remaining loyal to its roots. Furthermore, business sponsors' perceptions of the WNBA are being altered by Caitlin Clark's boldness. Athletes with the ability to create viral brands place a great value on moments. After the coach interaction, which garnered millions of views, and popular hashtags, companies took notice. Prior to the start of the season, Clark already had substantial contracts with businesses like Nike and Gatorade. But this kind of attention makes her much more marketable.